A1A, my YouTube channel where I take you on my Florida surfing adventures. Also started some series where I try to share what I've learned about surfing with you, specifically about surfing in Florida in a way that really extends the enjoyment you can get out of the, let's say, sport, whatever you want to call it. I kind of tend to look at surfing as a philosophical exercise as much as a physical exercise. I think maybe the older you get, the more you might tend to do that kind of thing. As you can see, the surf here in the end of December is definitely breaking on the outside all the way through to the inside. The ocean is pulsing swell in from some storms and cold fronts that have swept off the coast recently. We're in the phase where we get a long period of onshore wind, which is kind of nice this time of year. It makes the waves rather consistent usually. All right, so the hero's journey, the theme of this video, the hero's journey. What do I mean by that? Well, every book you ever read that you liked probably had the hero's journey in it, including Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, the Bible. Hey Andrew, welcome. You're landlocked. What? Well, you know, being landlocked just makes getting back to the coast that much sweeter, brother. So yeah, the hero's journey. What's the hero's journey? Okay, it is the general flow of, let's say, Lord of the Rings, where you are this thing and you don't really realize the power that you have within you, the little hobbit guy. And then you take on a great adventure of self-improvement for ultimately for your community, right? At the end of it, because you can't help your community unless you yourself are strong, is one of the nice ideas hidden in that story. And then you go face the thing that scares you, the thing that opposes you, and on the way, it takes a bite out of you. It changes you. You know, bites your arm off, it whatever. It does a lot of things. If you're looking at like Egyptian mythology, you know, it could be that you are dismembered to all areas of the kingdom. Anyway, but you reconstitute as something stronger than you were before by facing the things that oppose you. So that in the movie, they go down into the cave, into the mountain, and they get the gold that the dragon is hoarding and save it, and then come back to help their whole community. Okay, so that's one story, that's one narrative. I think that's very easy to see in the experience of surfing. You have something you crave on the outside, you have to build up the strength to get through it, you have to overcome the obstacles, and then you achieve this thing that makes you stronger and able to help your whole community. In a lot of ways, I think. It could be physically strong, to be mentally strong. It's the only way you can be a help to anyone. And that's the first order of business. Now, I will juxtaposition that story, which I kind of take on as my preferred way of living, to a story I heard explained to me about traveling to a place where locals are angry in the surf and they are very territorial. And this person had told me that their approach was to go and make friends with the biggest, baddest looking guy in the lineup, and then just make up kind of a conversation with them that's intended to get them to the point where they then tell you to go ahead and you can take a wave. That story, I can tell you, really sickened me on a deep level, and I'll tell you why. It's something like the male abuse prison story. It's the exact same story. Yuck. So no thank you. No thank you. So really the point I'm trying to get across is be careful the story that you pick as you become older and older. There are a lot of stories to pick from. One is the hero's journey, the hero's story, and the other story is maybe the prison abuse story, the avoidance of conflict story, the always negotiate and surrender story. These are right there at our disposal. And a favorite story that is most dysfunctional is that you are a victim, the poor little me story. That's a story that will just drag you down. That story goes all the way spiraling into the gates of Hades, without any doubt, if you start to look at the world that way. It's a lot more fun to view it as the hero's journey. And that's what I have to say today. You know, a lot of this is me finding my voice on this channel in a new way, and I appreciate you taking the time to check it out. If you like these kinds of videos, go ahead and subscribe, please. If you like this video at all, found it mildly amusing, or even better, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, if you turn on notifications, all notifications, you'll be notified as I live stream. I always appreciate you. Thanks. Andrew, I appreciate you being on. By the way, in the comments, let me know if there's any particular content you're interested in. I always like to take requests. I actually have 5 YouTube channels, and I stream on a few of them, and this is one of them. And I love to get new ideas, especially to know what. Some of the greatest ideas have come that way. Thanks for watching. Surf all day. A1A. Chest high and choppy.